Reddit, what's your go-to life hack that's so simple yet game-changing? Story 1. When speaking to customer service, after I get past the initial exchange, I always say, "By the way, thanks for your help today," before the resolution is even announced. You'll get the best possible outcome that person can provide. Story 2. Trust your body, especially when it comes to food. I was told this by a coworker when I was 3 bites into a sandwich and said, "That last bite tasted weird." She just told me to throw it away and not risk it. And I've been living by that ever since. We have literally millions of years of evolutionary training baked into our brains that gets overrode by our thoughts. Trust your gut. If an alleyway feels sketchy, walk around it. If that guy at the bar makes you feel weird, stop talking to him. If you taste something odd in your food, don't eat it. There's a reason you are feeling that way, and it's usually your subconscious screaming behind a wall of conscious thought. Story 3. There's a reason people say we play sports. When you want to keep fit, find the sport that feels like play. Forget about what's fashionable, and disregard the numbers on how many calories it burns per hour. Do the thing that brings you joy. If the thing that brings you joy is an activity that isn't technically a sport, such as geocaching or gardening, then that's okay. The most important thing about fitness is to stick with it, so this shouldn't feel like a chore. Story 4. Happiness isn't earned, it's noticed. You can put a lot of energy into getting to a position where happiness is easier to notice. But if you've ever felt underwhelmed about an achievement, you know that the happiness isn't automatic. Instead, you need to practice noticing happiness around you. It's actually a rather common and accessible emotion. We just usually tune out most of the sources for it because they are trivial. Every rock around you has a story, has an architecture, has a texture. Will those details ever matter in the bigger context of your life? Probably not. But that's no reason not to enjoy them anyways. Pick up a rock and look at it until you find something you like. Then drop it, grab another, and do it again. With just a little practice, you'll build an entire little system in your own head for appreciating rocks. And pretty soon, you can get a little bit of happiness just looking at a rock. That extends to everything. Flowers, trees, wind, clouds, knots, cars, rain, rural diners, children's sports matches, library bathrooms, parking lots, garage sale signs, everything. The universe has an infinite supply of detail, and there's no good reason not to learn to appreciate that. When you do, you gain this kind of superpower where you can find small joy in any situation. The only reason most of us don't learn to practice this skill is because we were told it's a waste of time by people who never figured it out. With a lot of practice, this can even help you out during times of intense grief, sadness, panic, or pain. When your mind is drowning in a negative experience, it's a very powerful trick to be able to say, "Wow, this sucks in a neat way. How interesting that a person can hurt like this. What a world." It doesn't make the bad feelings go away. It doesn't fix whatever problem caused them. But even in the depths of despair, you can shine a little light and remember that your mind is yours to orchestrate. Story 5. Go to sleep when your body tells you to. If I'm tired, my eyes are burning. Doesn't matter if I'm 5 minutes from the end of whatever I'm watching/reading/doing. I go to sleep. It has helped me a lot. Ate it. Y'all, if you're getting sleepy during the day, maybe you should actually follow this advice at night, lol. It means that you're not rested or that you're eating too heavy. Story 6. If you work at a PC all day, turn the nightlight on constantly. I have it set to turn on at 4 a.m. and off at 3 a.m. Makes a huge difference in eye strain. After you get used to it, other screens feel like looking at the sun. I set up one of my colleagues' PCs the same, and a week later she told me she had stopped getting headaches every day at 1 p.m., which she had even been going to the opticians for. Story 7. Compliment people about simple things. I'm male and in my 40s, so I wouldn't say to a random woman, "Hey, love that dress," because it comes across a bit creepy. But recently, when taking my daughter to school, I said to another dad who I see every day but never speak to, "Can I ask where you got those trainers, sneakers in US? I've wanted some like that for a while, they look cool." And now we're mates. It works in many situations. People like compliments even if you give it just to cheer them up. You might not get the benefit, but their life just got better because they'll feel better. A life hack doesn't have to improve just your life. Story 8. If you're in bed at night and your eyes have adjusted to the dark and you need to get up to go to the bathroom or the fridge or anywhere else where you'll need to turn a light on, just keep one eye closed the entire time the light is on. Then swap them once you turn the light back off. What you lose in depth perception is 100% worth it to still be able to see reasonably well in the dark, rather than blindly stumbling back to your bed. Story 9. A good day tomorrow begins the night before. If you wake up and are charging around and trying not to forget things and get somewhere on time, you not only probably will forget something, but you'll be upset and flustered, and just not in a good frame of mind when you start your school day. Lay out your clothes, pack your lunch, plan breakfast, get together everything that's going with you and put it in one location, and generally just put yourself in good order in advance. Being able to get up and just wake up, eat, load up, and go without the fluster is worth an extra hour of productivity, in my opinion. Story 10. After years of fighting my weight and trying everything, I learned that all you have to do is to eat fruits, vegetables, and whole grains with lean meats or plant protein like beans, lentils, nuts, and walk every day. Start with a short distance and carefully increase your distance. Be careful not to overdo the exercise and rest and recover fully if you do. Yes, it seems slow because in the beginning, you're replacing fat with muscle. I have lost about 20 pounds and 2 sizes, and now I am addicted to walking every morning. I wish I had known this and done it a long time ago. Story 11. Remember that line in Fight Club about how losing all hope was freedom? Kinda that. But mostly in the context of material success, storybook romance, and any sort of societal status. I've been there and done that, and none of it brought as much enjoyment as seeking experiences. Everything is fleeting: money, possessions, happiness, sadness, joy, pain, all of it. Keep your mind and heart open enough to experience it all as fully as you can, and you are winning. Story 12. I have started thinking of future me as a separate person, one that I already know all of their wants and goals, so pleasing them is super easy. Then I can do this person favors that will help them in the best and most personal way, like making them a bag lunch for tomorrow, or cleaning up the little messes I see so that they don't have to do a big cleanup. And bigger favors like going to the gym or eating smaller portions. The unexpected thing is that I have started appreciating myself more for all the favors I do for me, and it has helped my self-worth more than I expected. Story 13. I tell everyone keep backups in your car. Shirt, deodorant, floss picks, travel toothbrush, mints, a lighter, a comb, first aid kit, baby powder, a whole change of clothes if you want, baby wipes, paper towels, plastic bags. You're going somewhere and plans change and you're sweating. Boom, clean tea and some body spray. Brush your teeth at a friend's house or whatever. Relieve yourself of a lot of stress. Story 14. It's only for my job, really, but it's for putting a sock clothes on someone else, especially if they're limp, not cooperative. Put the sock sleeve inside out on your hand and arm first, then grab the person's hand or foot and roll the clothing item onto them. It's really simple, but you'd be amazed how many family members I've taught this working in hospice geriatric care. Story 15. I have a second checking account just for bills. Years ago, when I was struggling to keep a balance in my account, I added up all my annual expected bills, mortgage, car insurance, internet, car registration, etc., divided by my paychecks, added a couple percent, and direct deposit. I never see the money, and I never have to worry about bills overdrafting. The other account, gas, groceries, etc., would be light, but at least I knew what I was working with. The best part is, it's a cashback account, so I actually get a bit of money in the account by auto-paying with the debit card. Story 16. Brushing your teeth as soon as you can after eating instead of waiting. For a while I heard that brushing your teeth wasn't good if you brushed right away for some reason. Because of this, I didn't brush my teeth as often. Now I crave the clean brush feeling after being done eating. Definitely has whitened my teeth since starting to do this, and I use that cheap AF grass-fed and cage-free toothpaste. Edit. Thanks for the replies, but I'm so addicted to the feeling of clean brushed teeth that I really won't wait if I have a choice. I just want to feel clean now, haha. And if I wait most of the time, I forget until I brush before bed. Story 17. I don't know if it's a hack, but have a plan. Winging anything is rarely a good idea, and most of you are out here winging life. Take some time. Figure out what you want to do. Make a plan to get there. Figure out some goals to meet along the way. Track your progress and reevaluate as you go along. Understand that this applies to everything: career, fitness, relationships, etc. Story 18. Don't snooze your alarm, ever. Set it for the time you need to be out of bed and just get up. Like throw the covers off and swing your legs onto the floor. Plan to leave the house 10 minutes earlier than you really need to. It's less stressful to be early, and if you spill your drink or forget something, you'll have time to deal with it and not be late. Always put your shoes, bag, keys, phone, wallet in the exact same place when you come home. It's way easier than searching through your pants from 2 days ago or every room in the house before you leave. Story 19. It has always seemed like an obvious one that I never did, but do the laundry every day. Before this, doing the laundry was a dread, folding, specifically. We would wash clothes and then pull them from the dryer and leave them in baskets. Big pile in the laundry room. Big pile of clean laundry, unfolded. We never folded because it would take a long time. We would put it off because we always hated how it would take hours and hours of the day. We would try to do it only once or twice a month. After switching to every day, the difference is crazy. So now I start the new load after the kids go to bed. There isn't a full load, which goes against what I was taught by my parents. But anyways, start the load and then fold the clothes from the dryer from the night before. Since it isn't even a full load, it takes less than 10 minutes to fold and everything can be put away right away. Having it be part of a daily routine helps as well. I am really beginning to find a lot of the ways my parents taught me to do things to save pennies. Their methods just never worked well for me. I don't think it is worth the pennies saved. Story 20. If you want to lose weight, then write down the calories of everything that passes your lips. Stop eating when you get to 2,000 calories every day, for a man. You'd be surprised by how many calories you think you're not eating. I was eating salads but had blue cheese dressing on them. I started adding it all up, and it was 1,000 calories for that salad, and I was eating more than 3,000 calories per day, but thought I was healthy eating. Started writing it all down and just stopped eating at 2,000 calories and started losing weight. And you start looking at the things that have the most calories in your list and automatically start thinking of ways to game the system so you can eat more but have lower calories. Your brain can't resist it. Lower calorie spreads, low-fat yogurts, brown bread instead of white, baked crisps instead of regular. It all means you can have a small 96-calorie chocolate bar later in the day and still come in under budget. Story 21. When I'm cooking dinner, I write out the times for every step. When to turn the oven on and what temp. When the item goes into the oven. When to prep sides. When to take stuff out of the oven, etc. I have a terrible memory when it comes to ongoing events, so writing everything down and checking it off as I go really makes sure the meal is done at the same time. Story 22. The key to effective small talk is just to ask questions and take genuine interest in the person you are speaking to. Can be as simple as, "So what do you do for work?" Then bam, you are off. Keep the spotlight on them. Don't pepper them, but take an interest in the topic. People love to talk about themselves. Take advantage of it. Even better, if it's someone you run into again, remember something and use that as the jumping off point. "Hey John, how'd the kids' soccer game go?" Or "How'd the trip to Florida go?" Then bam, you are off. It's that simple. I used to be terrible and nervous in social situations. This trick has helped me so much. Story 23. I cater to the laziest version of my future self. Even if something improves my life, if it's going to require much more work in the future with little to no immediate reward, I don't do it. If I can do it now, and that means I don't have to do it later, I do it almost every time. A few examples. I no longer have indoor houseplants. I love fresh herbs, but tire quickly of maintaining them every day. I meal prep lunches every Sunday evening, and I try to make them pretty simple but yummy enough to want to eat them for the whole week. This means I save a good bit on eating lunch in the cafeteria or at local restaurants. Just reheat and keep working. Also means I get to go home an hour earlier than I otherwise would. When we grill out, I make almost double what we actually need for that meal. Makes meal prepping lunches a lot easier and a little cheaper still. We have a small box of recyclables right outside the door to our garage. This makes it much more likely that we will recycle because we don't have to walk all the way around to the back of our house to put it in the full-size bin. There are a bunch of other things I do, but you get the gist. Story 24, remember it's now. So many people always scheming for the future, they forget to do something now. Quite literally, anything no is better than wasting energy on a future that may never be. So many things in life will pass you by while you stare at a fiction in your head. Remember to live now by doing things now. Want to make a better life in the future? Try working hard now. This doesn't mean don't plan, but keep your plans vague in general for farther future projects. So many people living in the past. If you find yourself constantly reminiscing about how good it was, you will likely miss what's happening now. Miss hanging out with friends in school? Try hanging out with your friends now. Make an effort to recreate those happy memories in the now instead of in your head. So many people live in their past that the present stays empty. Eventually, the past is empty and there isn't much to keep you going. Living in the now helps prevent and alleviate depression, anxiety, and a variety of other mental health issues. Just remember it's now, and now is the time to live. Story 25. I developed this method while working at a pretty punishing labor job which left me half dead at the end of the day. I needed to figure out how to get time for myself. So, if you can stand this sleep schedule, I strongly recommend you get home from work, eat dinner, and then crash. Go to sleep around 8 to 9 p.m. at the latest. Then you'll wake up around 3:30 to 5 a.m. This means that you have a few hours to do your own shit before going to work. You can have a luxurious breakfast and play video games for a while before rolling in, or work on challenging projects and hobbies while you're at 100% instead of waiting for after work when you can barely keep your eyes open. Having a few hours of free time every day when you're energetic enough to enjoy it will make a lot of difference in your life. Story 26. Panic attacks, the more the better. I feel sorry for the fools who will live life comfortably, never knowing the liberating sensation of soul-crushing fear, never to be freed from the yoke of a sense of well-being, never to experience the confounding irrationality of every cell on fire for no identifiable reason. I recommend lots of caffeine. Like way too much. If you struggle obtaining the gut-wrenching pain of existence, I am blessed to take for granted. Story 27. Full hands in, full hands out. When I worked at a fine dining restaurant back in the day, every time we would go to the back kitchen, we're supposed to take something with us like dirty dishes. And every time we return from the back, we're supposed to bring something out onto the front like clean utensils, etc. That rule has worked wonders in my day-to-day life. I never walk around the house empty-handed. For example, every time I walk out to the garage, I grab something that needs to be taken out, and every time I walk in the house, I grab something from my truck to bring it inside the house.